Once again, it's your boy Big Flex. Hey, Flex Your Vote 2023. You know it's going down, Brunswick County, man. Something major going on. Hey, November 7th. It's election time, man. And Brunswick County looking for some major players in the game, and I got one in the building, Mr. Eric Brazil. Welcome to the show, Eric. How you doing, bro?
Doing excellent. Doing excellent. Thanks
Glad
for
you
having me.
could come and visit with me today on Flexing with Dex. Glad you're here, brother.
Excellent. Glad to be here.
Hey, introduce yourself to the people, Eric.
Well, my name is Eric Brazil, running for Board of Supervisors in the Red Oak District, Brunswick County, District 3. And as Dex was saying, November 7th is Election Day, so we don't have too much time. But hopefully you guys learn a little bit about me today. And I'm just going to let the interview show the people who I am.
That's right. Okay. All right. So, Eric, where you reside you're in the Red Oak District, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So look, what's driving you? What's the driving force? What made you say, hey, let me get out here and see what's going on?
Well, I actually appreciate that question because nobody's asked that yet. One of the driving forces for me is hope. One thing is I grew up and I went to high school in Fairfax County, Virginia, and every stoplight I went to, there was opportunity for these young kids to do something. Everywhere I turned around, there was advancement and placement for our youth to go ahead and have a future, a prosperous future that they can rely on, raise a family on, things of that nature. I don't want Brunswick to become Fairfax. I enjoy the rural living that we have. Having said that, I do want to provide some opportunities to Brunswick, and I've lived here since 2008, so it's been about 15 years, and I'm just done waiting for somebody to do something to bring change, for somebody to do something to bring growth. And I just believe that I can bring growth. And I believe that I can bring opportunity, especially for our children and our youth, because the youth and the children are tomorrow. So if we don't stand up and provide it today, what are they going to have? I believe in leaving the world a better place than you found it. And I think I have an opportunity to do that here in Brunswick. And so I've just, after 15 years of seeing the college close, after 15 years of seeing the McDonald's close, after 15 years of seeing grand openings and ribbon cuttings of businesses that never opened and never hired anybody, I'm done watching that. It's time to give the people something that they can have and grow on, to bring hope to this community, and we really need it. And that's what inspired me to run.
Okay, that's major. And what you're saying, the kids, which are our future.
Exactly.
Hey, we had to leave it better than when we was here. Got to leave it better.
Yep.
So Eric, let me ask you this. Right, are you the chairman? I was reading the Gazette, the article you had in the Gazette. You're the chairman of the
Republican Party here in Brunswick County.
Okay, all right.
Been the chairman of the Republican Party at the county level since 2016. I've been involved in politics for 22 years, dating back to 2001. I actually worked for Senator John McCain at his Russell Senate office building. Got to know John very well, worked with him hands-on daily, and then went on to do some more state and local candidates work, different state senators, different House of Delegates members. And then when I moved to Brunswick in 2008, I thought I was done with politics.
Right.
Having said that, after seeing the hope that we can provide to this community, in 2016, I decided to step back into the political game, and I became the chairman of the Republican Party here in Brunswick County.
Yeah, Eric. So you're the chairman of the Republican Party?
Correct. Yes, sir. A lot of people don't realize that when it comes to political entities, they have a structure, if you will, in every state. So you have a state chairman, and then you have state central committees, where is a committee that does the business of the political party within the state. And then each county, and this is both Republican and Democrat parties, each county has their own independent committee that then is associated with the state committee, and that's how the political parties are organized. And a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people just go vote, and that's what they know.
Right.
But I am the chairman of the Brunswick County Republican Committee. Yes.
Okay, that's major. So let's start off as economics in the county.
Mm-hmm.
It's a major issue.
Correct.
And supposed to be bringing the solar program supposed to be coming.
Yep.
What's your vision, Eric? What's your vision?
Well, I have a three-part vision. One is diversifying the tax base. We need to diversify the income coming into the county. We can't just depend on the people, the taxes from the constituents. That's not going to help the county become prosperous.
Okay.
So economic development is vital. The solar projects you mentioned is something we need to fight for. We need to have these solar projects. Any amount of money coming into this county that doesn't come out of the taxpayer's dollar is in my opinion a great thing.
Okay.
So the other things that I would like to do, like I said, is threefold. First is we got to do something with the St. Paul's campus.
Yes.
I think St. Paul's is a history of Brunswick. James Solomon Russell, history of Brunswick. It's an HBCU.
Yes.
It's very important to the constituents of Brunswick, and I'd like to see it remain St. Paul's. I've spoken with the president of St. Paul's for Life, Chris Stevenson.
Okay.
I've even brought some of my Republican colleagues, and House of Delegates member Otto Waxman has done great work with working with Chris Stevenson. And we've had the former Speaker of the House, Kirk Cox, who is now the president of the Higher Education Association in the state of Virginia,
Okay.
actually just met with Chris Stevenson a couple weeks ago. What we're looking at doing is opening up St. Paul's once again and having it be a vocational school, having it be career technical education where we're training plumbers, electricians, HVAC technicians, we're training hairstylists, we're training people that can do nails. Right now, he has a business incubator at the Bank of America building. And this is all very vital. This is one of the things I'm really focused on, because if you can bring that back, you brought Lawrenceville back.
That's right.
And then the second thing that I would like to do, which is mentioned in the article that you brought up at the Brunswick Times-Gazette, is I understand there are people at Lake Gaston that don't want to do short-term lake home rentals, but it's vitally important that we discuss this issue with them and that we get the lake home community to understand that Brunswick is more than just the lake home community. Red Oak District doesn't have the lake at the shoreline. We have to drive to the lake. And right now, Brunswick County's put a ban on short-term rentals. And the reason that's an economic problem is if you look at Littleton, North Carolina, if you look at Bugs Island in Mecklenburg, you'll notice a much bigger local economy than what you're going to find in Brunswick County. And the reason is you're allowed to go to Littleton and rent a lake home. You're allowed to go to Bugs Island and rent a lake home, even a cabin, but you can't do that in Brunswick County. And that's a problem. And if we open that market up where people from New Jersey, people from Maryland, people from New York, people from Alabama, people from Florida can rent a lake home at Lake Gaston in Brunswick County and pay that income, it's gonna make lake homeowners money.
Yes.
But it also, what Brunswick doesn't understand is every night that you stay in that lake home, the money you pay to that homeowner, he has to give a portion of that as a tax called occupancy tax to the county.
Okay.
And that's going to bring money. So we need that economic driver. And then the third part, if you do those two things, if you open up the lake and you open up St. Paul's, what you've done is you've opened up business. That's the third thing, because the rest are coming. You don't have to. You think McDonald's would have closed if the college is open?
That's right.
McDonald's will come back if the college kids come back. And so Main Street would revive again. And then you're going to have restaurants, not just in Lawrenceville, but throughout the lake, because you have these opportunities. You have tourism, you have education, you're going to have business. And that's my future for what I'd like to do for Brunswick.
And the things you speak of are here.
Yes.
They're right here at our fingertips.
Absolutely.
And we have to use what we have.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
That's one thing that has frustrated me with the last 15 years I've lived here is we try to create something that is not who Brunswick is. We all like to talk, I got this idea, I got that idea. For instance, I opened a business in Brunswick. It was an HVAC business. I'm an HVAC contractor, electrical, and plumbing.
Okay.
And that's what I did for a living, is what I do for a living now. When I opened that business, one thing I try to tell, especially the youth in Brunswick, is you got to use what's at your disposal. I didn't lay in bed at night and dream of crawling under your house and fixing pipes. That wasn't my dream. My dream was to create a successful business and make money. And that's what it's all about. And Brunswick can do that with what is right here. That's why I opened HVAC, because right here it was needed. And right now we need lake home rentals. We need St. Paul's. And if we can do those things, trust me, the rest is extremely attainable.
Okay, that's major. So let's talk about the school system,
Mm-hmm.
the literacy program, and
Yes.
different things, funding, and
Absolutely.
so let's talk about the children and literacy program in public schools.
Okay. Well, one thing I realized when I moved here in 2008 is the illiteracy rate of Brunswick County. We talk about kids, we have adults
True.
that are elder in age that still haven't learned how to read. I have a friend that's a neighbor of mine. He was 80 something, and I had to go to his house and read the paper to him. He didn't know how to read.
That's right.
And so the literacy rate here in Brunswick is definitely a factor that we need to focus on. But more importantly, when it comes to schools, so you mentioned funding for the schools and how important are the schools?
Mhm.
Well, I would say the schools are in the top two, and it can switch between first and second depending on what the topic is, right? But top two major factors in Brunswick County are emergency services and schools. And I say that for a reason. And that is that the economic drivers that businesses look for when they come into Brunswick County are your school system and your emergency services system. And if we do not have the school system, then we are not going to get the businesses. And then also opening St. Paul's becomes obsolete because you have to have a good, solid K through 12 foundation in order to support a college and in order to support business with employees. So I would say funding goes one or two, depending on what topic we're talking about, whether it be, if we're talking about fires, well, yeah, schools, obviously, you fund the fire departments for that. But schools are in the top two, and I would say number one 90% of the time when it comes to funding. I believe the local government's job is to keep the citizens safe, educate the citizens, and then set them free to accomplish their goals and their dreams. I do not have to regulate anything. As long as people are educated and free, then they can achieve anything they desire. And so I believe the school systems will accomplish that. And funding from a board, I will approve a lot of school funding because of that, because it's needed. And it will bring the funding back through the businesses that will come when they see how successful our schools can be.
Okay, okay. All right. So let's talk about recreation,
Mhm.
entertainment.
Yep.
Just a little bit of movement
Yeah.
in the county.
Well-
At a stalemate.
Yeah,
Talk
well,
about it.
and see, so it's funny you mentioned recreation and entertainment because I just said, schools and emergency services when it comes to a board. Here's what I want to see happen. I want to see people like Dex, people like you. We want entertainment in Brunswick County, and I think the opportunity exists, but we need to provide a platform for that. So when we look at recreation, one thing I think of is we need more activities, more places to do activities. I'd like to see Brunswick County get a state park.
Yeah.
I would like to see Brunswick County, like I said, open up the lake. I would like to see cabins put up in either Ebony or Gasper. Kind of like if you look up, and for the people watching at home, look up Christopher Run Campground at Lake Anna, just right up the road in Mineral, Virginia.
Okay.
I would like to see something like that exist right here in Gasburg or Ebony.
That's right.
And then I would like to see, we got the bowling alley over in the athletic field, the conference center that
Yeah.
they put on Athletic Road. So we have some things coming, but where I'm getting at is when it comes to these ventures, I don't believe it's the county's responsibility to fund it, open it, find it, do any of that. I believe capitalism and a free market will prevail. I believe we just need to provide an environment, if you will, to where if people like yourself wanted to take this podcast to the next level right here in Brunswick County, give you the marketplace to do it. Don't do it for you. You can do it yourself. I believe you're capable of that. I believe people are capable of operating a Christopher Run campground. The county doesn't need to be involved in it, but we do need to promote it happening. We do need to reach out to the players. And when I say players, for instance, Shameen Hotels is in Chesterfield, Virginia. Reach out to this organization. Let them know that we have 85 exit at Lake Rawlings. We have a lake at Ebony and Gasburg. Are they interested in providing a tourist attraction such as a campground or a lodge or cabins or another hotel, things of that nature? And then lastly, the state park, I believe, would be huge if we could get a state park here in Brunswick, especially by the lake.
Yeah, that'll be major.
Yeah.
Hey, once again, Flexing with Dex 2023, Flex Your Vote. Get to know your candidate, Eric Brazil, major, and he's running.
Yes.
Hey, he's a candidate,
Yes.
and he's talking to the people right now on Flexing with Dex. So, Eric, well, like I said, once again, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Talk to the people, Eric. Tell them why they should vote for you, Eric. Just your time. Talk to the people, Eric.
Well, I'll tell you this. One of the reasons I think you should vote for me on November 7th, if not early, because voting started now even. One of the reasons I think you should be voting for me is because I think it's time to have proven leadership in Brunswick County. Listen, I'm not trying to be mean to anybody. I love every representative of the board. Bernard Jones, Barbara, Fonz, John Zubrod's on the board right now. We got Welton Tyler. Me and Welton Tyler disagree politically on a lot of things, but I love him to death as a human being. But one thing I firmly believe is what people forget is the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And that's what we're doing right now with our school board. That's what we're doing right now with our board of supervisors. Is we're doing the same thing. We're putting the same people there, and we're expecting for Brunswick to change. That's not what brings change. You have to change the face in order to change the outcome. And so I believe people should vote for me, not only because of that, but because I also have the leadership experience in the network. I can reach out to state and federal government. One of the things that I want to tell the people of Brunswick is when we're talking about the taxes and the economy, I need you to understand that we're not getting as much money from the state and federal government as we once were because we have a population loss. That's something that our other board candidates are not talking about right now. We have to address population loss in order for the rest of the things to come. And when we get the increased population, we will then have the increased income from the state and federal governments coming. We're going to have increased property that is sold that we can get property taxes on without raising your taxes. And not only that, but better schools and things of this nature. We need to get new people in the school board. We need to get new people in the board of supervisors, and we have people running. I think Monica McMillan was on your show not too long ago, and she's running for school board, and I've endorsed her on Facebook, and that's a new person. We need to get new faces in there with new ideas, and we need to tackle the real problems, such as population loss, such as economic drivers, such as new, bold ideas to grow Brunswick County. And we're not going to do it by just putting the same people in there that we've been doing for the last 17 years. Because if they could have accomplished it, they would have within the 17 years that they were sitting there. And they haven't. And that's why I think the people should look at new candidates and vote for me.
Hey, you heard it here. Flexing with Dex 2023. Get to know your candidate. Flex your vote. Hey, Eric. Thank you, brother, for coming through.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Hey,
Dex.
Eric Brazil. Flexing with Dex. Get to know your candidate 2023. Keep flexing, y'all. November 7th, go out to them polls. Have a good day.
God bless y'all.